No, we're there. We're going. We are live.
We are live. All right, welcome, fellow TFFL owners. It's Wednesday. It's December 7th. We're looking ahead to the first round of the TFFL playoffs, the 2016 TFFL playoffs, our 20th playoff affair here. By the way, it is the anniversary of when I got engaged, or as we like to call it.
Congratulations, Sid. That's great news.
A day that will live in infamy. So listen, we were going to have a really special webcast here tonight on this day. We were going to have a record number of attendees. We do have one special guest. We may get a couple more that will pop in, which would be new, some on-the-fly guests. But first, let me quickly introduce those who are here. Our commissioner, skipper of the Sponge Fisherman, Chief.
AKA the person here who's not in the playoffs.
Yes, representing the Cash Bowl. Hank, czar and CEO of the K-Wheels, #1 seed in the playoffs.
Yes, we'll take it. Happy to be here this week with, very nice. Very nice to not have to worry about it.
Berto, our 3-time defending champions, Jack's Giant Killers.
Hey, Sick. I'd like to thank the Wheels, the Aliens, and in particular Dante Moncrief. Well done.
How nervous were you?
After Dwayne Allen scores 3 TDs, I didn't really think it was going to happen, but very, very pleasant surprise there.
And our special guest, Michael Giovenco of the #2 seed, Hormel Hams.
Howdy. I'd like to thank David Johnson.
Yeah, he's good. He's really good.
All year, he's been my rock.
So, congratulations on your conference crown.
Thank you.
Were you nervous at all? I mean,
yeah. I mean, the commissioner, the CBS site was going back and forth, and I think at one point I was 20% chance of winning, which is sometime I think late in the 1 o'clock games. So a little bit nervous, yeah, but I was in the playoffs either way, so division was there for me, and I had David Johnson going to 4 o'clock games and had some other stuff going, so I didn't.
The Gore
wasn't too worried about it.
The Gore Forte combo didn't. I mean, Forte was actually getting a fair amount of yards early on in that game.
Yeah, I think I came home. I was at work, and then I went swimming. Came back at I think about the beginning of the first half, and so saw the score and saw where it was going, and I wasn't really too concerned at that point.
So, hey, as we look ahead to the playoffs, one thing I wanted to point out, if you haven't figured this out already, the Packed Bowl, the Sunday of our Packed Bowl is Christmas Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Merry Christmas.
So book that time now away from the family.
Almost all the games are on Saturday, though, right? There's only a couple of Sunday games.
That's correct.
They may be critical Sunday games, though.
Yeah.
I hope to have that problem. I'd like that problem. Bring it on.
Sure.
I want to jump in here real quick. I was going to bring it up later, but I couldn't help notice you were doing introductions there. And you introduced Hank as #1 seed of the K-Wheels, and then Michael as a owner of the #2 seeded Hams. You know, these two teams finished with identical records. There's nothing in the rule book for differentiating between who has the #1 seed and who has the #2 seed.
I beat the Hams straight up.
Hams probably scored 200 more points than you in the season.
I don't care.
That will be a ballot measure this year to determine who has the top overall seed. Because yes, and that's why on the website you have #1 seed. Historically, head-to-head is pretty big.
In what sport or what league is head-to-head not the first tiebreaker?
Well, in cross conferences, you could make an argument that it shouldn't be. You could have an easier schedule. It so happens that you didn't. You probably had the more difficult schedule. But, it might be food for thought. Where if it's tied between the two conference champions, the total points might be a better metric for the #1 seed.
I generally agree with that. Not just because I have more points.
Chief, what if you had two teams tied for the division and the conference crown, who in one scenario, Team A would win the conference crown, but in the second tiebreaker scenario, Team B would win the #1 seed?
Well, but if it's within the conference, that's spelled out in the rule book. That's a head-to-head issue.
Well, the reality is the #1 seed doesn't mean anything over the #2 seed.
Well, it does. It could in the next round.
Right.
How? Oh, in terms of who we play. In terms of who we play.
Let's say Nick squeaks through, and then
Yeah. So
That yeah, okay. I disagree completely. We played. I beat them. Done.
All right. Well, we'll discuss this more during the rules process. Let's.
I would bring up this point though. I think that for the Marley Trophy, I think that's debatable. I think we split the Marley Trophy.
What? Oh, you want to have a tie for the Marley Trophy?
Yeah.
winners.
Or
I see nothing wrong with
best
that.
record.
I have zero issue with that. None. We can absolutely share the Marley Trophy.
It's in the spirit of the Marley Trophy show.
No question. Pass it around. Whoever wants to share in the Marley Trophy, let's do it.
All right.
Duly noted.
That's a deal.
All right.
Okay, so let me give you your TFFL trivia question now. We've got our special guest, Michael, who crafts a lot of TFFL trivia questions in his spare time. Has an opportunity here, I think, to help out the guests in our year-long competition. So I've got a timely question, a good one, a fairly simple one for you. But I've managed to give you 3 possible points to earn tonight.
great.
So we're in our 20th season now. We're embarking on our 20th playoffs. 2 franchises now are tied for the most lifetime playoff appearances, with 14 of them. 14 appearances in our 20 modern era seasons. I think that's pretty good. So name those 2 franchises, 1 point each. One franchise sits alone in last place with only 5 playoff appearances in 20 seasons. Ouch. There's a couple guesses here. We'll see which ones you guys go with. Name that franchise for a 3rd point.
That was how many stick? I didn't catch that. 5?
5. 5 times in 20 years. All right. So we are done with the 2016 regular season, our 20th regular season. We are going to talk almost exclusively about the playoffs. But I did suggest to Hank that we put our graphics department to work one last time. Let's put a stamp on the regular season standings. Just remind people who finished. We were just talking about this with the Marley Trophy. Who had the best records? We'll go through the draft order real quick, and then we'll get on to talking about the playoffs.
All right. Well, we'll make it short and sweet and clean. Right at the top, where it matters, Michael. You and me. The Marley Trophy above the line. There we are.
Congratulations.
And then we get to the action of the weekend. The #3 Aliens with a 3-point home field advantage versus the Evil Giant Killers at #6. Then we got the #4 Dirt Devlers taking on the #5 Lizards. And just for fun, we have the reverse action of the people who are not relevant this week. Right at the top, the Amsterdam Packers. There you go. There's your teams.
I would be remiss if I didn't say that Boba Fett's can go back-to-back cash bowl victories this year. They can have a repeat.
Side drama to watch for.
I had no idea they won last year.
No, that could have been a trivia question. I would have
why
gotten
would you?
wrong.
Yeah, that's a great one. Who's won the most? Who's won the most cash bowls?
Fats
No
beat the
idea.
Sponge in the finals last year. I won 2, so I don't know.
All right, a couple quick notes on the standings. First, I've acknowledged it a bit already, but congratulations to the K-Wheels, to the Hams as our 2 conference champions.
Great work.
I want to make sure we acknowledge that because we're not going to talk about you guys too much as we go forward tonight. But you'll be a focus next week as we get into the semifinals. But congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Exciting.
Great work.
It's fun to be in at the end, right, Michael? It's fun to be relevant. Final four.
Absolutely, and I have one critique on the webcast. There hasn't been enough Hormel ham stuff for my liking.
Well, fair enough. Hey, you have won 5 straight.
Yep.
You're the highest scoring team. With 900 points, almost 1,000.
I've been singing their praises.
980, I think.
I've been singing their praises since about week 3, I think.
Yeah, I think we've been singing your praises for sure.
No doubt. Just
not
enough chatter.
You are entering the playoffs hot. Yeah, 5 straight wins. You'd commented that last year you used your webcast appearance to propel you on a winning streak. Did you come on here right before that 5-game winning streak, or was that earlier this year?
I think it was a couple weeks before.
All right.
To be honest.
But we are a bit of a good luck charm for you.
That's right. That's why I'm here again.
Should we talk more about the hams now when we have Michael, or no?
We'll get him next week. He's still in the playoffs next week. We're gonna ask him a few questions later in the show. One other quick note on the standings. So Ralph does have the number 1 overall pick again. He's got the number 5 overall pick as well this year, courtesy of the Mongols. So 1 and 5 for him. The Lizards will end up with 2 number 1s, so it'll be the number 4 from the Sponge, and wherever they end up. All right, so let's get into it. We've got 2 playoff games to talk about this week. The number. Let's start with the game involving 2 of us who are here. Number 3 Aliens, getting 3 points this week, playing the number 6 Giant Killers. Berto, let me just ask you a quick question.
Sure.
Your last 3 playoffs where you've won the title every time. Did you start as a Wild? You must have. With the K-Wheels didn't win a division title in there.
No, I think it was 9-4, 9-4. Oh, the first one I did in the last 3. Yeah, 7-6 was 2013.
2013 was the year that the K-Wheels were really. That was the year you beat me in the final.
Yep, that was the game ever played year.
It was. That was the demise of my team. I haven't fully recovered until now. It's coming.
I'm on a mission to mention that game in every webcast.
As you know, as it hurts to keep digging the screws, keep turning them.
Yeah, so that was 2013. That was 7-6. Yeah.
All right. Well, you're gonna have to do it again, and I'm a little worried here. So let me tee this game up for you guys, and then I'll get out of the way. But while I'm doing that, start staring at the lineups. I want you to be ready to say Team X is going to win, and here's why. But some of the things I've been talking to you guys about already are really scaring me. Ben and the Steelers are going to be playing up in Buffalo. Forecast right now is for fairly heavy snow in the early to mid afternoon, 1 to 3 inches, winds 10 to 20 miles an hour. I have considered putting Brock Osweiler in against the Colts, but Ben is in there, but that's a consideration.
I would definitely put Brock Osweiler in.
Sure.
No question.
I would go with Sam Bradford personally.
Look up and down the Aliens lineup. We have, frankly, terrible matchups. Seattle, Baltimore, up and down. It's really not good. The issue for the Giant Killers, they no longer have Gronkowski to anchor their lineup. It's a little bit of a patchwork lineup. The matchup says it's pretty even. Tell me what you guys think.
Well, I need another beer, so I'll jump in here real quick before I go grab one. Hey, I see Richard.
Hey, how's it going, boys?
Hi, Rich.
Hey,
Just
Rich.
in time.
Welcome to the show.
Okay, so
Sorry to be a little
We
delayed.
welcome you to the show.
I had a few things to take care of, so I apologize for my delay.
Nice workman.
You missed the trivia question.
look, the Aliens have been the better team of the 2 all year long. Yes, they have less than ideal matchups, but I don't think the Giant Killers matchups are fantastic either. Yeah, they got Doug Baldwin against Green Bay, that's fine. Doug Baldwin's notorious for having big games in bunches, then a few low-key games. Brandon Marshall, who's throwing him the ball? I think Bryce Petty's starting for the Jets this week.
Yeah.
So I think the matchups, as far as the matchup within the matchups, are a little overstated. I think it's going to be a close game, but I think Carlos Hyde could have a huge game if he's healthy. Dante Moncrief is on a streak of sorts, playing against Houston. That's certainly a favorable matchup. Jordy Nelson is Jordy Nelson. So, I think the Aliens are going to win this. I think it's going to be a very close game. They get 3 points, for having home field advantage. I'm going to set this Aliens by 7.
Yeah, I mean, it comes down to 4 things, right? Injuries, matchups, momentum, and season-long performance, and just how good your team is. And I think 3 out of those 4 things probably favor the Aliens, right? So I think in terms of the injuries, Gronkowski is a huge hit for me. Momentum, I think the Aliens, although this week I had a great week and I hit my high water mark, but again, I still think the Aliens have been better over the last few games. And then season-long performance, the Aliens have been better. I do think I have a slight advantage in the matchups, but we'll see. I think Gronkowski being out is a huge hit. Cameron Brate looked good last week. He was a late season week 11 or so pickup. I needed a tight end, and he played well last week. But other than that, yeah, I mean, the Brandon Marshall, he's Bryce Petty throwing on the ball is terrible, and I still don't know who I'm going to start at quarterback. I'm pretty certain it's not going to be Eli, but it could very well be either Dak or Matt Ryan.
I'll just jump in quickly and say, did you write those 4 things down? Do you have that like on a business card or some kind of novel on them?
Laminated.
Pep talk.
I did just write it down.
Oh, that's good. You know what? In looking at your guys' matchup, I think Stick has a few tough matchup plays. I have no confidence in Watkins as a receiver this week against Pittsburgh. I think one big hit on him, he's going to probably be on the sideline for less snaps. For more snaps and less snaps on the field. So you might end up seeing Allen Robinson there if isn't better. Otherwise, Parker may come in if he miraculously gets better. I think that's the one call Stick has. The rest of his lineup looks pretty set, but Jordy Nelson against Seattle is not going to be an easy go. But with Earl Thomas out, maybe he gets a little bit more. Overall, looks like Stick has a bit better matchups at the running back position. Hill could have a big day for Stick, and if Rawls gets 2 touchdowns. And he picks the right quarterback to light up with, 15 points or around that area, then it could be a little closer. That'll require a touchdown from Brate, which is very possible against New Orleans. And, Berto, you often have some very good luck that goes your way when it comes to these types of things. I mean, you look at Marshall's matchup too. And if all your guys put up points, you can make this a very, very tough game. I'd say I'd give Stick the edge based on his player performance overall and their consistency over yours, but you definitely could have the opportunity for luck matchups.
Yeah, 3 words to keep in mind. Kansas City Chiefs.
Hello.
They are legitimately scoring.
Survey.
Michael's got a survey quiz.
Yeah,
Hey, I just hope it snows and it's blizzard conditions to all hell in Green Bay and Seattle can do nothing.
Yeah, but that'll mean a lot of rolls.
Yeah.
And we will get that quick Kansas City defense game tomorrow night. So, Burrow could go into Sunday up by 6 points or 9 points or whatever it is.
Yeah, I don't have any faith that Kansas City is going to hold them to under 10 points, though.
Me either. I think Oakland's going to go. Derek Carr's going to light him up. Be ready.
But
I don't know about light them up. Kansas City's a tough D, but I don't think they're going to hold them under 10 points.
No,
No, I don't think no, that definitely wouldn't happen. But Chief, I mean, I've been watching. I mean, the Kansas City D has been the last couple of games.
Eric Berry, come on.
It's good. It's good.
Yeah, but note this, Oakland is, I think, plus 13 on turnovers, and Kansas City something like plus 15.
Good stuff.
So they're both good on the turnover ratio thing. Turning that into points is a whole different story.
All I'm saying is the three players who could help me out tremendously are Tyreek Hill, Justin Houston, and Eric Berry. Those guys have put up points for the Killers the last couple of weeks, that's for sure. So.
Yeah, I have no faith in the Packers D. So you definitely have an edge on the defense if you want to rely on that for points.
Yeah, I was going to look and see if I've gotten any points out of the Packers defense this year. I'm just looking at the lineups now. Berto has Rawls, Baldwin, and Hauschka against Green Bay. He's got Cameron Brate against New Orleans, Brandon Marshall
Against San Francisco.
Jeremy Hill against Cleveland.
He's got really good matchups, man.
Jay Ajayi against Arizona is not great. Blount against Baltimore is not great. I've got Nelson against Seattle. Gostkowski kicking against Baltimore. That weather up in Buffalo could hurt Roethlisberger and Sammy Watkins. I'm nervous about this, but
You should be nervous. That's why I said the matchups are a bit, tough. Berto has easier matchups, but you have better consistency.
And I'm sure Berto's nervous too.
Yeah, Stick, you've convinced me. It's going to be a Killers blowout.
there you go. Good. All right.
Yeah, the one thing I'd add here, I'm a little bit surprised that you put in Walker or put in Watson over Walker. I'm surprised Delanie Walker's on the bench. A bit surprising to me.
I have not started him. He's playing Denver. I mean, I have not started him a lot. I'm not a huge fan of starting tight ends. He's been productive when I've played him. He's been productive all year, but he's playing Denver.
Yeah, Watkins hasn't done anything.
Watkins has high upside. He had 80 yards his first game back. He's the only receiver they've got right now. I don't know. I don't like playing somebody against Denver. I don't know.
So just to play this out, so Monday night we got Gostkowski and Terrence West, right?
And Blount.
The Garrett Blood.
And Blunt. So, okay. Yeah, so I got to be up 10,
At least
16 points.
Yeah.
Stick, I think the answer is clear. The answer is it's Cordero Patterson time. They're playing Jacksonville. He's going to return a punt for you and get you 10.
There's some upside. Sure.
I really think it's time to start Osweiler.
He almost did it. I saw that, Stick. I saw him in your lineup. Don't even lie.
Yeah.
I told you guys he was in there for about 6 minutes. I'm going to be watching that forecast. If it's maybe 3+ inches, if that forecast gets worse from here, 20-mile-an-hour winds and 3+ inches of snow, I'm not going to play him.
I think it's a wise move.
Nobody's a bigger fan of the aliens this week than the Wheels. Wheels don't want to see the Killers.
No, they don't. And that would be next week. All right,
I don't. I'm a huge Aliens fan. Let's go Aliens.
All right, let's get to our other game. Rich, I appreciate you joining us.
My pleasure.
Nick, unfortunately, is not with us right now, but maybe he'll come popping in here.
No, he has texted us. He has texted us and said that he cannot join us. He is sadly still doing work.
All right.
And I guess as a U.S. citizen taxpayer, we should be glad of that.
Thank you for your service, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
Right on.
So it's the number 4 Dirt Devils. It's number 5 Lizard. Do the Devils actually get 3 home field advantage points? They did not have a better record than the Lizards.
I was going to ask this. I thought it was kind of bullshit that just because they won their division that they are getting 3 points versus me having a better record.
Doesn't matter.
The way it is every single year.
With the higher
It's
seed.
a higher seed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Well, I
should
see.
change, man.
This isn't uncommon. Usually there's a weak division winner that's worse than a wild card team.
Correct.
Does that also that doesn't impact, however, so you're giving them an advantage for winning a division at a lower record, but I'm still going to pick behind them because I have a better record.
That's correct.
Yes.
Unless they make the Pact Bowl.
Unless they're 11 or 12. Yeah, I mean, this is, again, I think we had two things that have come up that, put in the rules proposal and we'll change them, but that's the way the rule book is written now.
The NFL works the same way,
Mhm.
right? The division winner has home field advantage. They have a higher seed over the wild card, and the draft goes by record.
I believe our rule book actually once said you had to have a better record. I just checked, Rich. It does not say that anymore.
I never remember that.
We might have changed that rule at some point.
I don't remember changing it, nor do I remember it not being the rule the way it is with the seating.
I don't either. I think we've always rewarded the division winners.
All right, let's get
It's interesting to talk about for the off season.
let's get to the game here. We've got, so,
Agreed.
like it or not, Devils are starting +3 here. Guys, tell me about the matchups you see that you like.
Well, Nick had the Tennessee guys on by last week, so we don't know what he's thinking here. I imagine Rashard Matthews is going to be in the lineup somewhere. I don't know if he's going to go with Kirk Cousins versus Philadelphia or Marcus Mariota versus Denver. I would assume he's going to part with Cousins there. I think the Lizards are the better team regardless, but it's really hard to give a good analysis without knowing what the lineup's going to look like. Spencer Ware's played really well for him. I think he's made Jamal Charles a ex-Kansas City Chief by the time the draft rolls around. Again, is he really going to go into this matchup with, Marquess Wilson and Tyler Boyd? I think Marcus Wilson might be out, but
Yeah, I would guess that Wilson is going to get replaced with Matthews.
Yeah, so I think he's got two subs, right? So he's got Wilson coming out and Rashard Matthews going in, and then he's got Boyd coming out and Stephon Diggs going in.
right, Diggs has to play.
Right.
So that's an additional 8 points minus these guys 5 points, 6 points. So the Lizards are still going to be,
It's negligible. Yeah, but you really can't base shit on that point crap that they give
No,
you.
but I mean, it's something, right?
It's all we got to work with.
It's a reference point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't look at that.
Stephon Diggs is actually listed as he's going to play. So he's got Stephon Diggs perhaps as well.
That's what he said.
Yeah, sorry.
Stephon Diggs and Rashard Matthews will be in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Still-
I'd also say the Cousins Newton differential here is pretty misleading. I'm not buying 18 to 12.
Yeah, exactly. Me neither.
Yep.
I wouldn't buy that at all either. I think Kirk Cousins could have a pretty big game.
Yeah, I agree.
Did you look at the Swiss cheese that Philadelphia was against Cincinnati last week?
Yeah, the Eagles
Don't look great.
The Eagles.
And if you think about that,
yeah, the Eagles have not quit as much as the Jets, but close.
yeah, but Cousins has too many weapons, and I would say he's good for 2 touchdowns and 300 yards in that game.
Mhm.
If they go to Deshaun Jackson, it's trouble.
I think the Lizards win this game by at least 10. At least.
I would love that.
Cam Newton against San Diego, they're going to score points. I mean,
Yeah, I think Deshaun Jackson gets a touchdown just out of going back to play his old team.
but the receivers is where the strength is. Beckham, Evans, and Hilton against.
Dude, if my thrry guys show up, it's very hard to beat me. If they each put up the points they should put up, then last week that's why I lost. Beckham put up his 6, and Evans and Thomas were donuts, right? And I felt better to the fact that even if I had replaced Hilton, I would not have won. in my Hilton Thomas decision.
Rich, the key to your team, one of the keys to your team, you have a very good team, but Jordan Howard has really emerged as a true number one running back.
Thank God. Imagine if we had AP again for another season. Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, with AP going, you had the potential for a terrible, terrible running back core. Greg Olson gives you a nice steady presence at the number 3 spot, but you had no, real leaders. Howard has been a top 10 guy.
I mean, 3 touchdowns last week. Unbelievable.
And yards. He's getting plenty of yards for a bad Chicago offense. Yep. Nice pick.
Thank you very much.
So I kind of agree with Phil's assessment, 10 points. I think there won't be a hell of a lot of excitement in this game past 4:30 on Sunday. And the Monday night games will be irrelevant with Tucker and the Patriots D. I think the Lizards will have it sewn up well ahead of that.
Yeah, I'll take the other side of that. I think the Devils are gonna squeak out a victory here.
Really?
Yeah, I kind of like their matchups a little bit better, and I'm not totally on the Jordan Howard bandwagon yet. So three touchdowns against San Francisco isn't really very impressive to me. And I think Detroit's defense looks a lot better than as we saw last week than people give it credit for. So and I don't know what's going to go on. The Jets look terrible, but the Jets against San Francisco, Forte could get in the end zone once or twice. Spencer Ware against Oakland's a pretty good matchup. If you could put Diggs and Matthews in there, along with Cousins, I think the Devils could surprise.
Yeah, but I don't disagree with anything you said there. I think that the only thing I would disagree with is your assessment of Jordan Howard. 500 yards game and more that are close to that, plus 5 touchdowns, and he wasn't a starter until 3 games into the season, 4 games into the season.
I'm not saying he's bad, not at all. I'm just saying I'm not totally convinced that he's going to be put up big numbers against Detroit.
Oh, okay. Yeah. In general, I think he's a very, very good running back. But yeah, I mean, Detroit, I don't know. We'll see. I think that he'll do all right.
Other than that, your running backs, you have Hightower, and then Olsen. We'll see what happens. But
I may end up. I'm thinking that there's a small possibility that I replace Hightower with somebody else, but it's so hard to predict, with some of these running backs these days. You don't know who's going to show up. Even for Stick, whether it's Blunt or Lewis getting more touches these days, it's challenging. And you look at everyone was recommending Starks last week because they saw him the week before, and I said NFW, Christine Michael's going to get a shot, and he did, but no running backs. It just turned out 3 running backs that did a lot of crap. So you can't trust a lot of these guys.
I think this is the week that the Lizards wide receivers go bonkers. Yeah, put up points. That's my assessment. And anything they get from the running backs will be gravy. But Beckham, Evans, and Hilton are going to get theirs, and they're going to put up some monster points.
Hey,
God bless.
By the way, LeGarrette Blount has been pretty consistently good this year, I'd say.
Oh, no, there's no doubt. I'm just saying, as of recent, Lewis is getting worked in, and with White getting worked in more, it's just a little messier than it was earlier in the season.
I understand.
Let me throw a fun fact in there. Not as fun as Michael's East Hanover fact from earlier today. But LeGarrette Blount now has 13 touchdowns on the season, which is 1 shy of Curtis Martin's franchise record. And the odds are pretty good Belichick is going to try to get him that record. It's just the kind of coach he is. It might not be this week. It might be next week. But Blount will be in the end zone a few more times this year. Book it.
So let me just real quick. I'll agree with Michael. I think you guys are generally underestimating the Devils. I think that's a good team that he's eventually going to put in place there when he wakes up. Listen, I'm a matchups guy, as you heard already, and Rich has some great matchups, as Berto said, especially at the wide receiver position. I think those guys could just go bonkers this week. I'm with you, Berto. Cam Newton playing against San Diego, that could be a very high-scoring game. Greg Olson. So I think the Lizards will probably win, but this might be a higher-scoring game in general than you guys are thinking.
I'm going to say 82-62. Lizards.
Add 10 points to the Devils. That's my score. There you go. All right. Michael Giovenco, where'd you go?
He left us.
What I want to do real quick is a lightning round. We were expecting maybe one or two more guests, but we'll do it primarily with Rich and with Michael.
Can I ask a question real quick? What were the startup questions?
The trivia questions?
Yeah, the trivia questions.
Yeah, go ahead and give Richie the trivia.
All right. Real quick. So in our 20th TFFL season now, two franchises are now tied for the most playoff appearances with 14. Name those two franchises for 1 point each. There is one franchise that sits alone in last place with only 5 playoff appearances in our 20 season. Name that franchise for a 3rd point. And we'll get to the answer pretty quick here.
All right.
So a few lightning round questions for you guys. Phil and Berto can jump in here if they want. But Michael, Rich, tell me the TFFL team you least want to face in the playoffs.
Well, I'll go first. I don't want to face the Killers because it would be week 16, and I don't want that pressure.
Good answer. Good answer. We're going to get 3 cracks out of them, everyone. 3 cracks to make sure this does not continue. We got to band together. Beat them. Win.
I don't want to see the aliens.
All right. One of those 2 teams won't be seen after this week. Berto, you got an answer to this?
Let's see. Who don't I want to see? I don't want to see the Lizards. So I don't know. I think the Lizards are. I think the Lizards set up nicely. I think their wide receivers are, like I just said before, are great. I think Newton can pick it up. So yeah, I would say the Lizards.
Hank?
I'm gonna go with I don't want to see the Hams because I think I might have to see them. I'd like to think I'm gonna see them at the end. They've been playing really well right now, and they've been scoring lots of points. I really am hopeful that Stick, this week you take care of the Killers. But if you don't, I'm okay. I bring the Killers. I'm okay trying to knock them down. But I think I fear the Hams more so in terms of exploding for points.
I'm glad somebody mentioned the Hams. I was going to do that. They're the hottest team coming into the playoffs, the highest scoring team all season long. Really strong team up and down the lineup.
Yeah, after scoring 180 points and going 0-2 against the Hams, I wouldn't want to see them again either.
So first off, to Rich playing this weekend, to Berto. Michael, will come back to you. But how are you going to be spending this particular Sunday, this playoff Sunday?
Dude, I barely know what I'm doing tomorrow. I have no idea what's going on Sunday. Let's see what the calendar says.
The calendar says it's the first round of the TFFL playoffs. Right?
Yeah, I'm gonna be. I have Sunday ticket. I'm gonna be in front of my TV watching every game.
There you go.
No, yeah, I'm locked in for sure. Last Sunday, as I mentioned before we got on the air here, was my one trip to the sports bar besides draft weekend, and that's fun and all. But I got really shit faced, and you don't have quite as much viewing of the games. This week is going to be more locked in on the couch, and a little bit more focused detail than maybe this past weekend. So I'm looking forward to that.
Michael Giovenco, I fear you don't sit in front of Red Zone for like 7 straight hours like the rest of us.
It depends.
Whether you're swimming or not?
I do. What's that?
Whether you're swimming or not?
Sometimes, yes.
I'm hopeful of sitting in front of Red Zone for 7 hours on Sunday. That sounds perfect.
There you go. All right, to our guests, real quick, what percentage of the webcasts do you watch? How often?
I watch it every week.
Good answer.
Yeah, I was going to say, 95 to 99% of the time. I like to say 100, but I think there's probably one I missed.
Just
Go back. We have archives. You can go back and watch previous episodes.
yeah, and
That's what I mean. I think I've basically watched them all at some point, but I think I may have missed one. Just getting caught up in travel or something else where I just didn't catch it.
And just a tip for the league. I mean, put this on in your car on the way to work. I mean, people have to be sick of whatever you're listening to on the way to work or the way back from work. Put it on Bluetooth. You don't have to see our wonderful looking faces, but put it on Bluetooth in the car. Listen to it in the car. Put it on if you're taking mass transportation. Put it on your headphones. Many, many ways to listen to the webcast. So
I'm not sure about that liability.
get engaged, watch it, and comment and send some mail into the mailbag. Mailbag tonight, by the way.
No,
as far as I know, I'm the only mail-in guest that there's been.
That means you missed last week's webcast.
I did. No, I watched last week's.
Liar.
Obviously not.
No, I did. I think I fell asleep towards the end, so maybe I missed the end.
Well, we had Stick with dramatic mailbag, and, dumping it on the desk, and
Oh, all right. Never mind. I'll go back and watch
New Jersey.
It,
So that's my one tip. Listen to it in the car. Listen to it on the way to work. Listen to it at work, sitting at your desk.
I do.
Many ways to enjoy the webcast.
I generally watch it when I'm walking my dog.
There you go.
It's a long
That
walk.
was last week was Johnny from New Jersey, right?
Yes.
I watch.
Well, it must have been towards the end then.
it might have been.
Because I came back from walking the dog, watching it, and I laid down on the couch while I was watching it, and I sort of fell asleep drooling on myself watching the webcast.
You sound like Nick.
We tend to have that effect on people from time to time. Falling asleep on yourself, drooling, and
we can make that happen. All right. Let me give you some trivia answers. Rich, I know you haven't had a lot of time to think about this, but it was a fairly easy question. A good time to win. So I'm looking for the 2 franchises with 14 playoff appearances in our 20 seasons and the 1 franchise with only 5 playoff appearances. I'm not going to read all your answers. Why don't I tell you the answer and you can tell me how many you got right? 14 playoff appearances for the Amsterdam Packers and the Dirt Devils.
I got the Devils.
The Dirt Devils, with their playoff appearance this year, get themselves up to 14 to tie the AMPAC. The team with the fewest playoff appearances, 5 for the Slippery Beavers.
Beavers.
Yes.
Wow. I was getting Mongols or
I
Sponge.
had Mongols.
I had the Mongols. So I only got 1 right. I got the Devils right.
The Sponge have not been around for as long, but you already have 6 playoff appearances.
All right, so hang on a second. I'm just going to tell everyone that coming into tonight's trivia, the standings are starting to get a little bit ugly. Chief is burying the field. He has 17 points. Berto is in second with 12. Hank is behind with 10. And the guest has 7. So now, Michael, how many did you get tonight?
I got 2.
You got 2. Nice standing. And the rest of us got how many? I got 2. Berto, how many did you get?
1.
Oh, Berto.
I got the Ampac. I had the alien stick.
Yeah.
How about you, Chief?
Too.
I had one. I had the same answers that Berto did.
All right.
Rich? If Rich,
All right, Rich, what you got?
I got the Devils. I missed the. I had the Killers and the Devils.
All right, I'm
Answer.
giving the guests 2 points then tonight. We'll count them both of our guests.
Oh, well, that's 3 then.
So then 3. Okay, so yeah, okay.
very generous.
So the guest now has 10 points.
Well, yeah, they weren't there for 1 week, so
Yeah, that's fair.
Sure.
That's fair. That brings it back in line.
6 points available in that week. Yeah, didn't we have a thing where the Mongols didn't make the playoffs like season 14 or 15 or something like that?
No, the Beavers started off like
Oh, that was the Beavers
yeah, they didn't make the playoffs for like 10 years.
until they won it. I got those 2 franchises mixed up.
Yeah.
The temptation was
That's right. The first time they made the playoffs, they ended up winning the Pac Bowl.
I had the Devils instead of the aliens, and I scratched it out and put the aliens.
All right. All right, so it's now Chief 18, Berto 13, Hank with 12, and the guest with 10.
Okay?
How many times have I been to the playoffs, Dick?
well, I'll tell you what. Let me turn it. I'll get you an answer while I turn it over to Chief. I know we've got some important reminders. He may have a rant, Chief.
Yeah, Stick, I don't know if you call it a rant, but I feel like I've been cosmically wronged here this season. And over the past week, actually past 2 weeks, because I was eliminated a couple weeks ago, I was looking at my lineup, and I really like my lineup. I'm trying to figure out where it all went wrong. How did this team end up 5-8? I think most people thought I was a playoff team this year. I thought I'd probably a top 3 team in the TFFL. And you know what happened to me this year? I didn't get a cheap win. I did not get any wins below 60 points scoring. Where was my 42-35 win? Where's my 32-27 win? That shit didn't happen this year, right? We all get at least 1. If we're lucky, we get 2 or 3. I got the 100-91 losses. I got the 88-85 losses. I want my 30-25 win. So, in one sense, that enrages me. In another more productive sense, it gives me a little better confidence in the quality of my team. I think changes are still coming, but maybe not overreacting, making changes. Now that being off my chest, make sure you get your reserve lineup in for those people playing this weekend. And Nick, if you're listening, reserve lineups, quarterback, running back, wide receiver, tight end can take the place of either of the latter 2. I'm fired up for what should be a really good Thursday night football game. Chiefs and Raiders. Tired of watching trash all these Thursday nights. That's all I really have. Good luck, everybody. I'm rooting for all of you.
Hey, Chief, I'm with you. That is horseshit. That is just horseshit about your bad luck this year.
Bullshit.
Everybody deserves one of those games every year.
If I didn't get 60 points, I didn't win.
Especially when you get the bullshit on the other end of it, the 100-90. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry, Chief.
All
It
right.
happens to the best of us, but
Michael doesn't seem too upset.
it is painful.
Better you than me, though, Chief.
And Mike, what'd you get this week? 50-something, right?
60.
You 60 this week?
All right. So yeah, week 1 of the 2016 playoffs coming up. We got 2 games this weekend involving 3 of us here today. 2 conference champs with us today. You guys get the week off. Enjoy it. May your players stay healthy. And good luck to everybody this week. We'll be back next week talking about 2 more big games, our semifinals. But week 14, first round, it's going to be exciting. Looking forward to it, Berto.
Yes. Good luck.
Yep. Good luck. We'll see you here next week. Take care.
All right, good luck, guys.
Good luck, everyone. Even you, Berto. Good luck. Enjoy the playoffs.
I can't wait to see it.
Let's go, aliens! Come
Let's go
on!
Lizards.